Hi everyone, we're going to be studying multivariable expressions today. This is Mrs. Udy. So yesterday, or in the last lesson, if you watched it, it was on single variable expressions. So single is another way to say one. Okay, so when we look at these examples here, it says single variables have one kind of variable, one kind. That's important there. Not that it has just one variable, but one kind. This one has an x. This one has an x. This one, even though it has two x's, it's still just one kind of variable. So what's the difference with a multivariable? Multi means more than one, okay? So in this case, if you look at the first example here, it's got an x and a y. In this one, it's got an a, b, c, and a d. So it has quite a few variables in it. It has two or more. Okay, how do we simplify an expression? You do the same thing that we've been doing, it's just got more than one variable this time, and you can only combine the variables that are like terms. So the first thing we're going to do on this problem is we're going to start with helpful hint number 1, which is change the minus signs. So we're going to go through and we're going to change this to plus and plus a negative. Okay, then we're going to take care of parentheses or fractions. Hey, there aren't any. Next is to identify the terms so we can get our like terms. So I'm going to look at this first one here. It's a 15y. I looked through the problem. I said, are there any more y's? Yep, right there. So I'm going to combine my 15y with my plus of negative 4y. Okay, and when I do that, I'm going to get 11y. Now I'm going to look at that last variable there. It's an x. Are there any other x's in the problem? Nope, there aren't. So I can't combine it with anything. So I'm just going to write down here at the end plus a negative 2x. Now we're going to go through this problem and say, hey, what's my best answer for this problem? What makes a best answer? Well, here's a list of things that makes a best answer. The first thing is it needs to be in alphabetical order. Is it right now with the y first? No, it's not. I need that x first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the negative 2x first. Then it says it needs the constant at the end. Well, there isn't a constant. Remember, a constant is a number that does not have a variable. So check. Now it says no excessive symbols in it. So that plus a negative there, we don't want that. How do we get rid of it? Well, we're going to change it to minus. Actually, this one I already wrote it backwards. I'm sorry. My son just came down and told me I was talking too loud, so I'm a little bit off on my problem. So let me rephrase that right here. Sorry. We wrote this in the front of the problem. So that part of the problem is done. I don't have that excessive signs. Now I'm going to bring my 11y down at the end. When I do that, it's a positive 11y, so I'm going to put plus 11y. Okay, and this is what it will look like. Negative 2x plus 11y. It says no 1 in front of the variable, and I do not have a variable that has a 1 for a constant. Okay, best answer. Okay, here's my next problem. Or actually, it's the same problem. I'm going to show you how to do it without changing the signs. And this is how, when I do the problem, this is how I normally do it. I just go through and I go 15y minus 4y. Well, 15y, and if this is going to work, guys, you have to put the circle around the sign in front of it also. You can't just leave that out. So 15y minus 4y is 11y. Then I have this negative 2x. It's all by itself, so I just write minus 2x. Now I still have to do the best answer. My best answer always is in alphabetical order, so I'm going to put this x in front. If I do that, the negative comes with it. Negative 2x plus 11y, because that is a positive 11y. Here's my next problem. We're first going to do it by changing the minus signs using our helpful hints. I'm going to go through the problem and I'm going to say, oh, plus a negative plus a negative. Next, I'm going to take care of parentheses and fractions. Well, I don't have any. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is identifying the terms so I can get my like terms. 2b and a plus a negative b. Okay, what do I do when there's no number in front of that b? Well, I'm going to stick a 1 in there because there is one b there. Okay, now I'm going to combine my b's together. 2b plus a negative 1b is 1b, or it's b, because we just did that. It's a b. There is one b there. Okay, I'm going to choose to use just the b. Now I'm going to find my c's. So there is a plus a negative 3c, and I don't see any more c's, so I'm just going to bring it down. Okay, after that, I'm going to go, and I found my constant there. There's a 4. I don't see any more constants, so guess what? I'm just going to write it down. So now I'm going to say, hey, is this the best answer? What makes the best answer? Alphabetical order, check. It had the B first, then the C, then the 4. Constant at the end, check. No excessive signs. Now, this one we did have to write. If you look, and I wanted to make sure that you saw both answers at the same time, this has plus a negative. I changed it to just minus C, and that's how I did this step right here. And then the no 1 in front of the variable we took care of at the beginning. It was 1B. We just wrote a plain old B. Okay, so this is my best answer right here in the box. Now, how can you do this without rewriting the signs? If you're interested. 2B. We're going to circle the other B, but remember we have to take the sign in front of it with it. That is a 1B. So 2B minus 1B is B. Now, I look at my C's. There's only one C. I'm going to write down minus 3C. Then I come over here, and I've got the plus 4. There's nothing to combine with it, so I have a plus 4. Okay, now, most of you are probably saying, well, that's way easier. Why would I change those signs? I guarantee that if you use this method, the most common mistake that I see kids do is they do B, B, and then they're going to write down 3B. Okay, you have to take the sign with it if you are going to use this method. Okay, otherwise, use the other method. Okay, here's our next problem. Simplify the expression, and we are going to use these helpful hints. Okay, first is to change the minus sign, so plus a negative. Then after that, I'm going to take care of fractions and parentheses. That's done. Identify the terms and like terms. Well, I don't see any other constant. I don't see any other y. I don't see any other m. That means that I don't have any like terms that I can combine. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to rewrite the problem, but in order. So I'm going to put that back in there like I had. Okay, so when I rewrite the problem, I need to do my best answer, which is in alphabetical order. So if I do alphabetical order, I'm going to start with my m. Then I'm going to write my y plus a negative 7y, and then I'm going to write my plus 6 because that is a positive 6. Okay, after I do that, I want my best possible answer. Remember, the best possible answer is getting rid of these double signs right here. We're going to do the opposite. Remember, I changed it to plus a negative. What was it before up here at the top? It was just minus. So my best answer is going to be m minus 7y plus 6. Okay, now I have the best answer thing here, but I'm going to show you, hey, how do I do this if I don't want to do the opposite sign thing? Well, what I would do is just do it exactly how it is. Hey, there's no like terms. I'm going to write my m first. It's a positive m, so I just write m. Now I have my minus 7y, and then I'm going to go with my 6. It's a positive 6 because there's no minus in front of it, so it's just plus 6, and that is my best possible answer. Okay, next problem is going to be one with parentheses. Our first step is that we're going to change the minus signs to plus and negative. Now, this first one here where it's a negative 4r, you can change it if you want, but it's not going to do you any good because that is just where it's at the beginning of the problem. That is just a negative, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and change that to the operation to plus a negative, and then this one to plus a negative. Okay, now these kind of problems are a little bit weird because the parentheses are over here. I changed my minus signs. Now it says to take care of fractions and parentheses. So I need to go and do this part of the problem. So what I like to do, and maybe it would be better if I rewrote it. Sometimes I just cross it off, but I'm going to rewrite this down here as negative 2 times y plus a negative 2r. I did not include this yet because it is not part of the parentheses. So I'm just going to do this part of the problem. We're going to do the distributive property. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times a negative 2r is going to be a positive 4r. Now I'm going to bring down my negative 4r. Okay, next step is to combine like terms. negative 4r. Sorry, I need to put that plus a negative back in there. And positive 4r. Oh, what's a negative 4 plus 4? That is 0 r's plus negative 2y. What is my best possible answer for this? Well, if I'm looking at it, it doesn't really say anything. Let me get to the next page actually, because it has that checklist for us. So 0r plus a negative 2y. 0r plus a negative 2y. First, is it in alphabetical order? Yep. Is the constant at the end? There's not one. So, yep. No excessive symbols. Hey, I've got excessive symbols, so I need to get rid of that. So 0r minus 2y. The tricky part is here it says no 1 in front of the variable, but it doesn't really talk about this, but do we really need to write down that there are 0 r's in our problem, or does that mean that there are no r's? This is like saying, hey, there are no r's. Let's not write it. My final answer, my best answer would be negative 2y. Okay, if you want to do it without doing all the changing the positives and the negatives, you can. Okay, let's ignore this for a minute, this negative 4r, but remember there is a negative 2 right here. So this is negative 2 times y, which is negative 2y. Now, this is a negative 2 times a negative 2, which is plus 4r. Then we're going to bring that back down into the problem, so negative 4r. Same thing as before, 4r and a negative 4r is 0r. So this time, since we've already seen the problem, I'm not actually going to write it. I'm just going to bring down, I'm going to cross those out, and I'm going to bring down my negative 2y, and that would be my final answer. Okay, this one might scare you a little bit, but don't let it. You guys are awesome, and it's level 3. You've got this. Okay, first, change the minus sign. So I'm going to go through the problem, and I'm going to change this to plus a negative and plus a negative. Okay, we've got a fraction in the middle of the problem. That's the step right here. It says take care of fractions in parentheses. So let's do this part of the problem first. We're going to divide the 2 into the 8n, which is a 4n. Then we're going to divide the 2 into the negative 12, which is going to be plus a negative 6p. I'm going to add on plus my negative 2p at the end, and I'm going to bring down my 3r at the beginning. Then I have to say, what sign goes here? There isn't one. Okay, if that was a positive 4, I'm going to put a plus 4. Now we're going to combine like terms. Do you see any r's? I don't. Do I see any other n's? No, but guess what? There's my p's. Okay, so I know there's 3 r's plus 4 n's, and then I've got a negative 6p plus a negative 2p, which is a negative 8p. Now I need to write my best possible answer. Okay, best possible answer means alphabetical. So R, N, or P. Which one comes first? I'm pretty sure it's N. Q, R, N, S. Yep, 4N. I don't want the double signs, so I'm going to write minus 8p. And then this is a positive 3r, so I'm going to write plus 3r. And that is my best possible answer. Let's work that problem again without doing the sign change thing, so just so you have a different perspective. First, we're going to divide the 2 into each thing here. So I'm going to bring down my 3r. 8n divided by 2 is going to be a positive 4n. 2 goes into the negative 12, and that's going to make minus 6p, and then minus 2p. I'm going to combine like terms. When I do that, negative 6p minus 2p makes negative 8p. I have my 3r plus 4n. Now I need to put it in alphabetical order. I'm going to start with my 4n, then I'm going to put minus 8p, and finally my plus 3r, and that would be my final answer. The last problem is getting you started on a level 4. This is talking about prices for admission to different museums. The Ogden Train Museum, some of you have probably been to that. It has a really, really cool little model trains that go through the walls and stuff. My kids love that one. And then there's the California Train Museum, it's a really big one. It's really cool too. Anyway, it says Mrs. Udy is taking her family to a train museum. There are 3 kids, 2 adults, and 2 senior citizens in her family. That's her parents. Write an expression using the variables K, A, and S to help her estimate the cost of the trip. So K stands for the price of the kids' ticket. So how many kids are there? There are 3 kids. So 3 times the cost of the kids' ticket, so 3K. Next, how many adults are going to be going? Okay, so we're going to add to this because we're adding the cost of the trip up. They're all going to be combined together. 2 times the cost of the adult ticket, which is A. Finally, the 2 senior citizens in her family, that's going to be 2 times the cost of the senior ticket, which is S. This expression here would help you find the prices of the 2 different train museums if you plug the numbers in. And hopefully that'll get you started on your level 4, and that this helped you with your lesson today, or your assignment today.